Deep in the heart of the ancient forest, far from the prying eyes of civilization, exists a creature with a taste for curiosity. Legends whisper its name, but only in hushed tones, lest it hears its own dark tale. You see, deep in this forest, hidden away from prying eyes, there lives a creature with a taste for curiosity. They say that if you wander too far from the camp, it watches you, and if you make eye contact, you become the next one to watch over these woods for all eternity. The story begins with a group of adventurous friends eager to explore the uncharted depths of the forest. They had heard the stories, the warnings, but youth's invincibility and the thrill of discovery had drawn them into the depths of the woodland maze. Their camp was set in a clearing near a bubbling brook, where the sun could still filter through the dense canopy of ancient trees. They laughed and joked around the campfire, each taking turns telling stories, oblivious to the watching eyes in the shadows. Lucas, the most adventurous and skeptical of the group, dismissed the stories as mere myths. "It's just a tale to keep children from wandering off," he said, laughing. "I bet there's nothing out there." Emily, a believer in the legends, shivered at his words. "Don't tempt fate, Lucas. There's something about this place, can't you feel it?" Lucas only laughed, and soon the night wore on, the fire dwindling to embers. In the early hours, curiosity gnawed at Lucas. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of adventure, he decided to venture further into the forest. Emily's words echoed in his mind, but he pushed them away. The forest was still, its silence only broken by the distant hoot of an owl or the rustle of unseen creatures in the underbrush. Lucas felt drawn to something, a presence he couldn't quite define. Hours slipped away as he wandered deeper, the camp now a distant memory. It was then that he saw it, a reflection in the dark, two unblinking eyes watching him. A chill ran down his spine, but he couldn't look away. Time froze and the legend became reality. Lucas felt himself being pulled into those eyes, his body no longer his own. The taste of curiosity had claimed another soul. Back at camp, Emily awoke with a start. Something was wrong. She could feel it. They searched for Lucas but found no trace. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no sign. Eventually the search was called off, and Lucas became another lost soul, another chapter in the legend of the creature that watches the forest. Years passed and the legend grew, fed by the unexplained disappearances of those who wandered too far. The forest's depths remained untouched, its secrets guarded by those who now watched over it. But curiosity is a potent lure, and one day another group of campers sat around a fire, sharing tales of the creature in the woods. Unbeknownst to them, a pair of unblinking eyes watched from the shadows, and among them, hidden behind the veil of darkness, was Lucas, forever trapped, forever watching, a slave to the creature's insatiable taste for curiosity. For the creature is never satisfied, and the forest always watches, waiting for the next curious soul to wander too far. Years have passed, and people still disappear in these woods, becoming part of the legend, forever watching, just like Lucas. So, my friends, as we sit here tonight, let's stay close to the fire. Don't let curiosity lure you into the darkness, for the forest is watching, and it hungers for curious souls. And who knows, maybe Lucas is out there right now watching us, waiting for one of us to stray too far. Do you feel that chill in the air? It's not just the wind, it's a warning. Remember the tale of Lucas and keep your eyes on the fire, for if you venture too far, you may find yourself locking eyes with the creature, and then you too will become a watcher, forever guarding the secrets of these woods.
Hey, you all remember that lake we passed earlier today? The one that looked so calm and inviting? Well, I've got a story about that lake. It might just make you think twice about going for a swim there. You see, beneath the serene surface of that lake, there's a dark secret. It's a bottomless pit that's said to be a gateway to another world. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Long ago, this very lake was a gathering spot for the people of a nearby village. They would fish, swim, and celebrate by its shores. But over time, strange things began to happen. People would go swimming and never return. At first, it was chalked up to accidents or unfortunate mishaps, but then the stories began to spread. They say that every now and then, something from that other world reaches out and grabs an unsuspecting swimmer, pulling them into the depths, never to be seen again. Still with me? Good. Now let me tell you about a young woman named Lily. Lily was adventurous, brave, and in love with the water. She had heard the legends about the lake, but she didn't believe them. She thought they were just tales to scare children. One summer's day, she and her friends decided to have a picnic by the lake. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the water looked so refreshing. Lily couldn't resist a swim. Her friends warned her, reminded her of the stories, but Lily just laughed. "I'll be fine," she said, diving into the water with a joyful splash. Her friends watched as she swam further and further out, her laughter carrying back to them on the breeze. But then something happened. Lily suddenly stopped laughing. Her friends saw her look down into the water, her face turning pale. She started to swim back, but it was too late. From the depths of the lake, something reached out, a shadowy figure, an arm, a hand. No one could say for sure. But it grabbed Lily and she was gone, pulled beneath the surface, leaving only ripples behind. Her friends were paralyzed with fear, unable to comprehend what they had just witnessed. They ran to the village, shouting and crying. But no one could find Lily. She had vanished without a trace. The village was in mourning, and the legend of the lake grew. It became a place of fear, a place to avoid. Years passed, and people still talk about Lily and the lake's dark secret. Some even say they've seen things in the water, shadows moving, eyes watching. But the most haunting part of the story, Lily's voice. They say that on quiet nights, if you stand by the shore and listen carefully, you can hear her calling, a soft mournful cry, begging for help, lost in another world, a world beneath the lake. So, my friends, next time you feel the urge to swim in that beautiful, serene lake, remember Lily. Remember the bottomless pit and the gateway to another world. And remember, every now and then something reaches out and grabs an unsuspecting swimmer. Let's stick to the campfire tonight, shall we? The lake may look inviting, but we never know what lies beneath.
Gather round, my friends, and brace yourselves, for I have a tale that might send shivers down your spine. It's a story about something inexplicable that lies deep within the forest we find ourselves in tonight. It's a story about a campfire that never goes out. Now, you may think that a campfire is a symbol of warmth, comfort, and camaraderie. And you'd be right most of the time. But this particular campfire is anything but comforting. It's said to have been burning for as long as anyone can remember, and its flames hold a dark secret. In the heart of this dense forest lies a clearing. No matter the weather, the season, or the time of day, you'll find the campfire there, its flames dancing, almost as if beckoning you closer. The logs never burn out, and the fire never dies. It's an eerie sight, yet strangely captivating. Now, you may think that adding a log to a campfire is a simple and harmless act. But in this case, those who have stumbled upon the fire and added a log have lived to regret it. For you see, with every log added, a life is taken. Let me tell you about a group of travelers, much like ourselves, who found themselves drawn to this forest years ago. They were young, adventurous, and unafraid, but they were also curious, and curiosity can sometimes lead to unforeseen consequences. They had heard the legend of the campfire that never goes out, but they didn't believe it. How could they? It sounded like a mere fairy tale. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they stumbled upon the clearing. There it was, the fire, just as the stories described. It was mesmerizing, and they found themselves drawn to it. One of them, a brave young man named Thomas, decided to test the legend. He picked up a log and threw it into the fire, laughing at the absurdity of the tale. The flames roared to life, and the group cheered, dismissing the legend as nothing more than a fanciful myth. But the very next day, Thomas received a dreadful message. His sister, who lived in a distant town, had died suddenly and inexplicably. Her life had been taken, just as the legend foretold. The group was shaken but tried to dismiss it as a coincidence. Yet the fire's pull was strong, and they found themselves returning to it, almost as if it was calling to them. One by one, they added logs, and one by one, they received news of a loved one's death. The campfire was taking lives, just as promised. They tried to flee the forest, to escape the fire's grip, but it was too late. The damage was done. The flames had claimed what they were owed. The group disbanded, haunted by what they had done. The once adventurous friends were now broken, forever scarred by the fire that never goes out. The legend grew, and the clearing became a place of fear and sorrow. Some say the fire is cursed, a gateway to the underworld. Others believe it's a test, a warning to those who dare to tamper with things they don't understand. So, my friends, as we sit around our own campfire tonight, Let us remember the tale of the fire that never goes out. Let us remember that some things are better left untouched, and some legends are born of truth. If you ever find yourself wandering deep into this forest and stumble upon a clearing with a never-ending fire, heed the warning and do not add a log. For with every log added, a life is taken, and once the fire has claimed you, there's no escaping its grasp. Now let's enjoy our own fire and be grateful for the warmth it provides. But let's also remember to respect the unknown and the mysteries that lie deep within the forest, waiting for the curious to find them.